While unsuccessful companies have many negative impacts on our economy, successful firms have many positive impacts. What are some of those positive things? Well, profitable businesses hire more workers to meet consumer demands. Also, morale for workers at profitable companies is better. Stockholders are happy because the price of their stocks that they've invested are going up, and potential stockholders are attracted to buy stocks, which also increases demand and the price for the stock. More profits means more taxes. The business is paying more taxes to the federal government, and businesses are more likely to give their extra profits to charities. Profitable businesses also attract competition. Other businesses see how well a business is doing, and they want a piece of the profit pie. As you learned, competition provides many benefits to consumers and the economy. In a market-oriented economy, supply and demand determine the prices and quantities of goods and services produced. To understand how prices are determined, you have to understand how supply and demand interact. Well, what are they? Supply is the amount of goods producers are willing to make and sell. The law of supply is the economic rule that the price and quantity supplied move in the same directions. In other words, this means that as prices rise for a product, the quantity supply also rises. As the price falls, on the other hand, the quantity supplied by sellers also falls. Businesses aren't going to make a lot of an item that nobody's demanding. Similarly, if there's a lot of demand, the price goes up and companies make more of those items. Demand refers to consumers' willingness and ability to buy products. So demand is when consumers not only want to buy something, but they also have the means, the financial means, to be able to pay for the goods and services. The law of demand states that price and demand move in opposite directions. As the price of a good goes up, the quantity of goods demanded falls. If a price goes down, consumers demand more for that good. When supply and demand interact in the marketplace, you can have several conditions. You can have a surplus, a shortage, or an equilibrium. What are surpluses? Surpluses occur when the supply for a product or service exceeds the demand. So a surplus is when there's too much of a good, like let's say cookies, or a service, or if consumers are not willing to buy something if they feel the price is too high. What do businesses do when there's a surplus? They lower prices to encourage people to buy their surplus. A good example of this is when grocery stores lower their prices on produce that's in season. Why does a grocery store do that? So that they don't have a big surplus of, let's say, tomatoes that would easily rot after a couple days. Grocery stores lower their prices to increase demand in the times of a surplus. You could also have a shortage. A shortage exists when the demand for something is more than the current supply. For example, when there's a shortage of oil, the price of gasoline goes up. So does the price of plastic, some cleaning products, and other products that use oil as a raw material. In a shortage, businesses can raise their prices and still sell their items. This is true only if there's no substitute for the product. For example, if there were a shortage of, let's say, pasta, consumers might choose to buy alternatives to pasta, such as rice or potatoes. The goal in a free enterprise system is to achieve a balance between supply and demand, between what is being supplied by producers and what consumers are demanding. This is called equilibrium, when supply equals the demand. In other words, there's enough stuff for the people that all want it. At equilibrium, everyone's needs are being met. Take a look at what you've come up with for your notes. Make sure that your graphic organizer includes those 4 components of the free enterprise system that you saw here in this presentation. Also, if you go back into Google Classroom, I've put some YouTube videos that you can watch that will further teach you some of the concepts in this chapter.